it's like day 20. It's March 20th, but the exact day of the endless new perpetual world regional war. Please like and share. We're going to get into all the nitty-gritty details today. Of course, Donald Trump has officially overthrown the central bank and the Federal Reserve. Hoorah. This is exactly what I had predicted months ago from my Greene praying mantis Lamborghini. I said Donald Trump had secretly overthrew the criminal central bank, and he would be resetting the entire system into stable coins, blockchain, and of course, Bitcoin. This is happening exactly now, and we're going to talk about the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, how this is going to impact your pocketbook, send oil skyrocketing, make gasoline, fuel, natural gas, probably bring pricing to new all-time highs. Of course, this is going to be an absolute disaster for the middle class. It's going to take a long time before prices come down. But first, I want you to understand that I had very eloquently predicted that Donald Trump was going to pump gold and silver prices at the central bank, the old financial reserve. He was going to do that for a very specific reason, so then he could create more paper wealth. And then that new paper wealth that BlackRock and the government possessed at Fort Knox would be used to dump on the American people. And they would use those profits and keep selling along the way, as we've seen with gold and silver. And they would use all that new capital, because it's what I would do. I mean, you have to think about this stuff strategically. And then they were going to buy all the cheap Bitcoin and crypto they had suppressed over here, reset you into stablecoin, and they were going to have a smokescreen scapegoat. And that smokescreen scapegoat was going to be world war with Iran. And that's exactly what I said, and it's exactly what's been playing out. Now, again, I was mocked calling the top in silver above $100 an ounce. I told you to sell a minimum of 20 to 50%, 25, 50% of your position, which is what I did. Everybody mocked me. Everybody said the price is going to keep going sky high. It can't go down. Chris, the parabola will last forever. It's going to 500 an ounce now because Peter Schiff said. I'm like, no, guys, as much as I would love that, and keep in mind, I'm still holding my 50% bag, but that's a long-term play. I already 10x'd my money in silver, so I took 10 times profits on my silver I bought under about $10 and some a little bit above $10. Man, I just killed it. I absolutely destroyed it. I mean, you 10x any investment, take some freaking profits, at least 25%. You'd have to be a fool. You'd have to be an idiot. You'd have to be the most disgruntled, psychologically ill person not to take profits at an all-time parabolic high when your grandma and all your friends are telling you, and especially Peter Schiff is saying it can't go down. You know that thing is going to pop like Jim Cramer's advice. So again, I told you to dump. I told you to sell your silver to Peter Schiff, see if you even take it. And I also told you you're not going to have any liquidity when everyone starts to panic out of it. Now, that's all good in the hood. I still love gold and silver, and I still think you should save in gold and silver. But my point is, and this is not directed at you, you're not smarter than the elites. I'm referring to the American public. There's a reason why the elites are in power. They're smarter than the people they're controlling. You understand that? I mean, they just had like $300 million Americans buy off on a fake election. I mean, can you believe that? They actually faked that there's a two-party system and there's some kind of election process, and they actually faked to the American public that there weren't going to be any more foreign wars or hyperinflation and debt. The American people play into this bullshit all the time, and it's why they keep getting screwed hard. What you need to do is take my specific advice. This is what my father tells you. Take Christopher's advice. Look, I'm not going to pretend here that I'm a perfect person. I'm a sinner, okay, all those things, but I have gotten it right. There is a reason why we're Bitcoin rich. There's a reason why no one else in the world saw what I did when Bitcoin was trading under 1,000. There's a reason why I launched all my schools and made so many millionaires. There's a reason why we own the Island Project, 2 Lambos, 12 Jeeps. There's a reason why we have no bank debt, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why I'm a Division I All-American and the MVP and Century League Swimmer of the Year in Southern California. There's a reason for that pure, utter level psychotic domination. Because I am, I say, psychotic dominator. And everything I touch and do, I commit until the day I die. When I say that I'm going to do something, I do it, I realize it, and I leave no room for error. I shared that with you when we launched. and I give all glory to Christ for this, Island Project Founders Round. I gave no room for error. My father gave no room for error. And not only did we crush through our 33.5 million non-dilutable original fund, we crushed through 400 plus, now 500 plus million in open interest. So again, leave no room for error. If you want to get ahead, just like if you want big biceps, or you want the girl, or you want your cash flows up, or you want to live your investment, leave no room for error. Your discipline and your action set, all those things, do that every single day, and then give the rest to God. Let him do the big work. God's in control ultimately, but we can control our mindset, our daily routine, and our action. So I told all of you, I predicted it. We hit the nail on the head. I predicted the parabolas in gold and silver. I told you the price would rise. I told you Trump and the central banks would artificially inflate their central bank reserves because those were the old reserves. You inflate what you already own. And then what you don't own, you buy cheap as you suppress it, which is what they did with Bitcoin, crypto, and blockchain. So now that silver is on its way down to probably 40 an ounce, now it's already hit my target in the 60s, but my target has been 50, 60. Now the real gobbling up of the crypto is going to happen. So Donald Trump, of course, positioning this reality television show, and God bless him, I love him, but he's positioning this massive new ballroom, which is really an AI data center, and it's a deep state COGS, continuity of government facility. For those of you that don't know, I predicted that and, of course, got that right as well. It's mostly what they're building underground. But in addition to that, as they're leading up to the UFC fight, June, July, they're going to put on this whole big show. And the whole big show is this new paradigm, moving into the golden age, resetting the Middle East, building a new one, ushering, and I'm not saying Trump's doing this, but ushering in the Antichrist, bringing in the end of times, or at least the appearance of it. It's very real in my scholarly view, but the point is they're even bringing it on like the appearance of it. Notice today there was a big article in the Drudge Report, which is all compromised, owned by radical leftist cucks. It's basically fake news, but one of the big articles today was missile fragments hit the Temple Mount. So again, the Temple Mount is being messed with. The Islamic Mosque is being messed with shrapnel. And all the holy sites of Jesus and the Wailing Wall and the Jews and all that. So like again, they're playing into this biblical freak show prophecy. And the whole reason is you want to get neocons, right? Which is like most of the Republican right. You kind of want them all on board as you transition them to this new socialism, UBI, fakeness, stablecoin thing. You kind of draw them in, right? A wolf puts a mask on, right? Like a sheep. Oh, he's a nice guy. He's cloaked. Just like Satan is basically an inverse of light, right? He looks like the good guy. He's good looking and handsome and talented, and he can strut and he entertain. He's sexy. Everyone loves him. And no one assumes he's actually the Antichrist or Satan himself. And so they're really gearing up neocons. And through Turning Point USA, which is another reason why they whacked Charlie Kirk, it's very obvious now because Charlie Kirk was way against this war. Charlie Kirk could have been the next president of the United States, like a JFK type figure. He could have literally won. He was that charismatic. He was tall. He was good looking. He was knowledgeable. He was talented. He was a great orator. All these things. And so the neocon right had to make sure they exited Kirk out before their pre-planned war. Are you seeing that now, how it's even more obvious who whacked Charlie Kirk? It's very, very obvious. I mean, we honestly have to give some kudos here and credit to Candace Owens because she's never wavered on this. But now it all makes sense because we see how the neocons, the wolves, the blood-lust, ravenous Lindsey Grahams just gurgling, BLOOD, just loving these wars, just loving the destruction, loving the loss of human life. And all of this. So we're coming into this biblical, radicalized prophecy. Now, it's also a goal of the elites to hyperinflate everything into an affordability crisis. The reason is they want to stoke a civil war. They want to stoke people panicking and fighting each other in the streets. What the elites love is Republican and Democrats coming for each other's throats. And the more they create that demonic atmosphere, the more Republicans hate Democrats, the more Democrats hate Republicans, the better. The more riots in the streets, God forbid, that the elites can basically light the match towards. Like we saw with BLM, that was what they wanted, right? I mean, again, it was the lockdowns and they wanted some kind of catharsis moment. Now, the Canadian truckers weren't allowed to get in the streets, right? They declared martial you-know-what, removed all of those. But the BLM guys, they just let them sit, light the whole city and towns aflame. Because again, it's the agenda. Now, on the plus side, on the good news here, and we'll talk about the supply shocks here in a minute, I'm noticing that a lot of people that bought the con of the fake selection now are finally admitting to themselves, well, wait a minute, like Trump said this, he's done the opposite. He didn't hold any of his promises. He said no foreign wars. Now there's foreign wars. They said they're America first, but it looks like they're Israel first. They said no more debt with Doggy, but there's actually more debt. They said no inflation, but there's actually hyperinflation. He promised a golden age, but it's only a golden age for the rich. So like the fact that people are starting to wake up is pretty good, but they still have a lot of cognitive dissonance because I'm noticing they still don't get it. They still don't understand. They're saying things like, well, Trump must be compromised. Another country must have leverage on him or something like that. I love Donald Trump, but I'm just pointing out that the typical American that only watches mainstream fake news boob tube and eats Doritos really has still no idea what's going on. And I'm seeing it even with our amazing prepping community, and I love all these people. I love all these people. I mean, these are friends of mine, so I'm not going to name any names. But I'm noticing that in the prepping community that all the traditional preppers, which actually includes me, I'm just a very interesting prepper. See, I make you rich and play offense and also play defense with bug out bags and food storage. I do both. For example, there's two ways to get richer. Increase your cash flows or cut your expenses. Most preppers, all they do is they never focus on income, but actually high income solves all your problems. See, when you're rich, you can just buy anything you need. When you have more money, you can just basically pay off all your debts. When you're rich on offense, you don't have that problem. So you want to do both, right? You can cut your expenses, grow your cash flows, but most preppers are just in conservation. They don't think in abundance, they only think in scarcity. And that's a problem because the deep state rips you off and they keep transferring all the wealth to themselves. And the prices keep getting out of control like Zimbabwe. No matter how much you keep trying to cut your expenses, you're still going to lose. See, the elites figured all this out a long time ago, and here's where they're getting it wrong. And you should prep, and you should have food and water like I do, and you should have bug out bags, and you should have backup power systems and grids and water filtration and all those things I've sold in gold and silver. But here's what the traditional prepping community doesn't understand. Guys, the elites already figured all this out. Well, you don't think the elites didn't already figure all this out? Of course they did, just like I figured it out. Okay, what they're going to do now is transfer you into the new stablecoin, Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto system. That's why I'm telling you to get into all this stuff right now, because this is where all the money is. This is where you're going to make all the money. This is where you're going to make all the gains. Just like I told you to buy Bitcoin under 1,000 and was proven right about that. Just like I told you to sell your silver above $100 an ounce. I've been proven right about that. So again, what the traditional pundits in the alternative don't see is they're only looking at scarcity, and they don't see how the elites are going to rip you off even further with their new blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto reset. I'm telling you, it's a guarantee. So we're moving to a new stable coin, the new US dollar stable coin. Donald Trump just minted his face on a gold coin, which is coming to market soon, which is kind of non-traditional. Usually they wait till the president dies before they do that, but they're just circumventing that, doing whatever they want. And they're moving us all to a stable coin system, which is really a CBDC. They won't call it that. They'll call it Freedom Coin. I've told you this for years. Have people not been listening to what I'm saying? I told you they're going to create it and say it's not a CBDC, it's Liberty Coin or US dollar coin or 1776 Freedom Coin. But it's still going to be a highly surveilled, trackable, highly inflationary, tied to fake US digital debt. They will have more control, more power over the American people than they ever have. Everyone in Bitcoin, everyone in crypto, everyone that owns real assets like us and my members keep getting richer. I'm going to even explain how we're going to get richer with the Strait of Hormuz closure. With the Strait of Hormuz closure, you know what happens to luxury real estate? Prices go up. Here's why. The cost of building materials goes up. So the very exclusive rich and all the oligarchs that buy all of our properties and all a part of our portfolio for that resale will buy resale first because they don't want to build a new luxury home, because what once cost $30 million costs $50 million. So instead of building something new with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and building materials going up, they buy our stuff. And our stuff revalues even higher to 40 and 50 million. I told you the same thing in 2020 when they locked down the entire world. Real estate would soar. Why? Because the wealthy elite would buy the best properties in the world, which are only what we own. We don't own the middle-class homes. Middle-class homes are going down. Absolutely. If you want a middle-class home, there's nothing wrong with that. Price is going down. There's no buyers. People don't have income. But the very wealthy elite, the oligarchs, buy all of the island project real estate, and they keep jacking prices higher. Why? They know riots are coming in American streets because they're organizing them. They know the collapse of the system and dollars at hand because they designed it. They know a stable coin currency reset is ahead, and Bitcoin's going to $1 million like I do, and I've told you for years, it's going to 3 to 5 million. So they're exiting the cities. They're going to buy all the luxury properties. Middle class America sinks. So you're not wrong about that. For those of you, well, the housing's down. Absolutely for the middle class. The middle class will be slaughtered. And I've told you that for years. That's why I designed, because I'm a Christian and I help people, along with my team and my father, an opportunity where you can own the best real estate in the world that the oligarchs own. See, I created a fractional ownership opportunity with no bank debt, so you own what Jeff Bezos owns. Our properties go up. Middle class America goes down. Do you understand? Ivory Tower of Hunger Games versus everybody else. It's the same thing that they're doing with the new UFC fight coming in June and July. It's just like Hunger Games. It's just like it. They're literally putting a demonic gladiator, and I like UFC, but a gladiator ring like Rome in front of the White House. And they're declaring games, just like Hunger Games. Guys, you live in an idiocracy. So again, let's talk about the implications of the Strait of Hormuz as well. Click the link below and get in. By the way, I only have 5 of these left. I've had 20 new onboards here. This is our brand new custom island project skeleton. Check this out. Look at that. So sick, dude. In fact, the owner of this company used to be a Breitling guy, and he just started this company. It's sick. Same color of my Lamborghini. It's got this graphite. It's super lightweight. And then this is mine, but I have them emblazoning the Island Project logo right here in the back. And then for the 20 that I just sent out, they're on special order. This will probably take a couple of weeks here. I've got each member's name, okay, that hits Deck 2 Gold tier right here. So it says, 1000X IP or Pitt or Greene or Papa. I got Papa one. He's got a special one. I actually got a special one. Papa John doesn't know that. For Papa John. So 5 more slots. Again, when you buy into the gold tier, you get 7 nights comped every single year at all of our beautiful no bank debt properties. You live your investment. And in addition to that, just for fun, you get one of the last 5 of these. Isn't that freaking dope? Plus cash flows, capital gains, and our token event coming very soon. See our terms and disclaimers. So let me explain what's going to, links below 808-442-2934. Let me explain what's going to happen with the collapse of the Strait of Hormuz, which is responsible of upwards about 20% of the oil trade. It could even be higher for natural gas. I don't know the exact number. And take a sip of Gatorade here. It could be more for natural gas. But I want you to understand the impact and the shock that this is going to have worldwide. It's going to be like the 2020 thing again, a little bit. This means, eggs and food. And again, I mentioned building materials, which is going to send our property values going much high because most of everything we own is resale. I have one spec home that I'm going to reveal to you. I am building an absolute just crazy 7,000 square foot, multiple property estate here in Malibu. This thing is freaking nuts. Has a bar, movie theater, bunkers, fallout freaking shelters. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay, so I only have one spec, but most of our $100 million portfolio is all resale. So again, as the shock of the Strait of Hormuz continues, if Trump doesn't do something, which is why they may launch tacticals. In fact, there's a possibility they might just blow up the Strait of Hormuz to elongate it. That would be a solution if the US government and Israel just pressed one of the nuclear buttons. They could blow up the Strait of Hormuz, much like the Panama Canal. Instead of having to dredge it, or dredge it up. They just bomb it. So that's one idea. The only other idea is if Donald Trump actually withdrew, but he's not going to do that. Because if he withdraws, let me explain to you what will happen to Iran if Trump withdraws now. This is what tells us we're going to be there for years, probably a decade, like the war in Iraq. If Trump withdrew now, after destabilizing Iran, Iran is going to rebuild itself, control the Strait of Hormuz, tax all of the other Gulf states like Oman and Qatar and UAE, become wealthy. While it's becoming more wealthy, radicalize itself further, which the Iranian people are going to want after the United States and Israel bombed all their cities and took out all their proliferation sites. And as they do that, the fear is Iran would actually become the superpower of this part of the East. So it'd be very dangerous. If Donald Trump withdraws, that would actually be worse now. See, once you've poked the eye of Iran, this industrialized Persia, you're screwed. So, honestly, it's very convoluted, and I'm not even saying I'm for the war, but Donald Trump better stay there. If he doesn't stay there, Iran will get so strong that it will literally threaten all of the rest of the Middle East, including Israel, Qatar, UAE, Oman, etc., Bahrain, all of it. So it would be a freaking just World War III disaster. Now, of course, we're praying that there's not mutual assured destruction mad. Hopefully Donald Trump, Putin, Xi Jinping, or Kim Jong-un don't fire nukes. If they do, there's this theory of mutual assured destruction where basically all of these nukes reaching out of our atmosphere, once one fires, we'll fire. And then the other group fires. And then you've got missiles just crossing hemispheres, so to speak, at the same time, assuring mutual destruction, which would be terrible. Then, of course, we're all going to die like the dinosaurs when the comet hit the Yucatan Peninsula, which I don't even believe because I don't believe anything the scientists say, but this is at least their theory, and then creates a nuclear holocaust winter. All of our crops will die, we will die, all the animals will die, and all the animals that feed on the animals will die. So let's pray there's not mutual assured destruction. That would be terrible. But I do think there'll be a couple healthy tacticals used. That's definitely going to happen. And that it could be used on the Strait of Hormuz or for a fear-mongering event in Europe, the United States, some kind of asymmetric, some kind of cyber event, which we know is a guarantee coming, some kind of financial lockdown, when Americans' ATMs don't work or they can't log into their bank accounts or their accounts are frozen, which is going to happen really soon, some kind of private credit banking collapse. For those of you that are not in the know, the private credit sphere on Wall Street, which is where I'm from, is collapsing right now, much like it did in 2008-09. So all the loans that the criminal bankers had underwrote are actually insolvent because they underwrote debt to people who are bankrupt. As those people go bankrupt and everything cracks like 2008-09, Wall Street blows up, and then of course they leave the hot potato and the piling hot turd for the American people to clean up and eat. There'll probably be some other kind of bailout measures or something. Maybe they'll confiscate foreclose on more of your houses that have mortgages on it, etc. Now, of course, I'm rooting for the American people. Everything I do is for America, 1776. Everything I do is for God, helping the small guy, fighting the deep state, fighting the demons. It's why we built this project. It's why we're the multi-billion-dollar Christian badasses. But from the perspective of Wall Street, I don't want the little guy hurt at all, though they're going to be absolutely destroyed with what the elites are doing. I actually think it's a good thing that the private credit markets are going to blow up. I think all of Wall Street should blow up. I think that their scam and their racketeering of fake debt and debt to infinity and their fake reserve banking system and their racketeering of trillions of dollars of TARP and bailouts and fraud. I mean, we could only hope and pray it blows up on Jamie Dimon's face, couldn't we? I mean, that would be the greatest thing since American apple pie. So again, there's going to be a reckoning. We all know that. But unfortunately, the elites figured out that it's only going to wreck you. And see, that's the whole point of America and the oligopolists and the fraud and the scam that makes up the United States today, and the fake banking system and the bank bailouts and the Marshall LAW and the lockdowns and the pokies and the bat poo and all the poopy crap diarrhea flying over everyone and everyone's face and just hitting us all over the face all the time, is they figured out a plan. You're the only one who's screwed. So again, I've always brought facts and truth. But here's what I'm telling you. Don't get down in the dumps. Be proactive and do something positive today. Learn how to protect you and your family. Exit the system now. Roll over your retirement accounts and IRA and feel good about what you've done. Make sure your children are protected in a legacy asset like islandproject.com. Make sure you're out of bank debt in an asset like islandproject.com. Make sure you have sovereignty in an asset like islandproject.com. Make sure you're earning passive income while you sleep at islandproject.com. Make sure you're living your investment in multiple sovereignties in multiple states, and you're skiing and surfing and getting a suntan at islandproject.com. Make sure you're taking advantage of amortization, depreciation, rollovers, and tax-free exchanges like we're doing here at islandproject.com before the storm hits. Make sure you get into our 1000x tokenization launch and get one of the last 5 of these amazing watches. Retails for over 10K, but it's worth over 100K because my name's on it, my company's on it, and there's only 25 in the world before the storm hits, before the flood comes. So again, we all know what's going to happen next. We know the elites have perfect control. I mean, God's in control, but at least in this moment of satanic time, the elites have figured all this out. They con the American people. Politics is fake. The politicians lied. We all understand we're in World War III. We all understand the stock market's fake and a scam. We all understand they're going to lock everybody in their houses again. We can smell it, can't we? They're going to lock us down again, aren't they? They absolutely are going to lock us down again. Another reason to get into islandproject.com. It's why I invented islandproject.com. This is why we built islandproject.com, for this exact environment today. So, pivot, leverage, profit. Let's end on a high note. The high note is now the elites are going to pump into Bitcoin. Donald Trump and the rest of the elites, Lutnick, etc., and the Cesar, David Sachs, are now going to pump Bitcoin to new record all-time highs. Go all in. Go all in. Just like I told you to sell 50% of your silver over 100 and was right, even though I was mocked. Look, I was mocked when I told you to buy Bitcoin under 1,000. I was mocked when I told you Bitcoin would overthrow governments and national currencies. I was mocked when I launched my school, BitcoinRich.com, now with millions of subscribers around the world. I was mocked then. So I expect to be mocked over and over again, even though I've proven my self-worth, I've proven my talents, I've proven my genius for decades over and over again. Again, constantly winning over and over again. Constant no bank debt mansions over and over again. Constant Jeeps, constant Lambos, constant Learjets. I get it. Invented alternative media television, invented fractional tokenized real estate. I expect to be mocked, just like Jesus was mocked. But I'm giving you damn good, 100% Christian-led, Holy Spirit-filled advice now. You do 2 things. You go all in Island Project. You roll over your retirement account. You roll over your IRA. You do that with Papa John today, and then you book your vacation. 808-442-2934. You go all in. You also buy some Bitcoin. You also buy some Bitcoin. You also buy a little crypto. Get some Bitcoin mostly, get a little Ethereum, get some XRP. If you want to learn more, join us at school. Buy a little Solana. 2 things you do. The world is going to change. At the end of all of it, what I've told you, what we have talked about for the last several decades, will be the new system. We're moving to an AI-driven, digital, blockchain economy. It's all digitized. This is how the treasury system will be backed. It's the new central bank Donald Trump has created. It's all moving to a Bitcoin standard, a crypto standard, transfer payments, ownership systems of all assets will be tokenized. Stocks, real estate, which I invented, mostly. This is a multi-trillion, arguably multi-quadrillion entity right here. If you compound all the assets in real estate, commercial, retail, REITs, look at the stock market, derivatives, options trading, prediction markets now have opened up trillions of dollars of new market share. So again, at the end of all of this, you get on the right side. At the end of all of this, I want you protected. I want you safe. At the end of all of this, I want you in cash flows and no bank debt. At the end of all of this, I want you rich, a part of our tokenization launch. At the end of all of this, I want you in a Christian, God, faith-first community like ours, succeeding into the new system. And then, here's the biggest thing. I want you making disciples. I want you spreading the holy gospel. I want you to have courage. I want you to step out of fear. Tell everyone you know about Jesus because he's coming back soon. There's a reason for our success. It's because it's been ordained by him. I just saw a giant rainbow earlier this morning with the number 7 on it. And by the way, God bless Chuck Norris. He left us today. Another reason to buy islandproject.com. Your life is short. None of it matters anyways, guys. Even Chuck Norris, the famous movie guy, he's dead now. It's all over. He couldn't take anything with him. What are you so worried about? Why can't you stop out of your fear? Get out of your fear. Get out of your fear and 1000X with us. God bless Chuck Norris. He was a badass. Don't F with the Chucky. That movie was scary. I saw that as a kid. Remember Chucky? He's like, don't F with the Chuck. Anyways, I love you. God bless you. Reach out to my father, 808-442-2934. That's 808-442-2934. And see the beautiful video my dad just put out of our $7 million penthouse at Hupuna Beach. That video just went up yesterday with my team. Amazing. We're calling your bluff. Come in with $250K. Get in today. Book your comp time. Own the asset. Own it with no bank tech. Own the lifestyle, and only 5 of these left because I've already had 20 people come in at $250K. I just had another individual come in with $2 million. You saw Mr. Skinkle has over $1 million with me in Fund 1. He's also coming into Fund 2. His wife's coming in with another $250K. That'll put him at 1.25. He gets one of these as well. Live your life and live your investment with the Greene machine and the Lamborghini of fractional real estate here in the Maui Boo. I love you. Like and share. God bless. Jesus Christ is coming soon. Thank you.